Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today I'm back with another interesting and a tricky problem statement asked in a data science interview in Ajio. So make sure you watch the video till end to learn something cool solution of this particular problem. And please subscribe to my channel if not already done yet, as I will keep on coming with a lot more useful content. So yeah, guys, without wasting any time, let's get started. Let me just quickly explain you the problem statement once, and then probably we will deep dive into the data part, and then we will basically look at the solution as well. So, as part of this particular problem, Ajio had asked us to basically find a merchant who earned the most money on the day before, right? So over here, let me just quickly show you the information in the form of tables which we have. So over here, let's see, we are having the very first table, which is like merchant details table, which contains ID, name, category, and zip code of that particular merchant, right? In the second table, we are having the order details, right? So basically, like which merchant sold how many items in what amount. So basically all these informations are available in the second table, right? Now, as part of the problem statement, we have to find a merchant who earned the most money on the day before, right? So this could be the trickiest part to solve this particular problem, right? Now, further, what they're saying is before comparing totals between merchants, round the number at a two decimal place. So for sure, we have to round it up. So sales, basically, we have to round it up at a two decimal places. The output should contains like the date. We can get date from here, right? So output should contain date, merchant name, and like basically, but only for those days where the data from the previous day is available, right? And for sure, we have to basically take a look at the previous day sales, right? So basically, we have to take like only those merchants where the data is available for the previous day, right? Now, what they're saying, like as part of the note over here, we have to basically take a look at all the merchants for a specific day, right? And let's say if a particular merchant sales is having highest, right? Or let's say more than one merchant sales is highest. So basically we have to include all the merchants in that particular case, right? So yeah, guys, without wasting any time, let me just quickly deep dive into the solution of this. So as we have to, let me just quickly explain you the approach of to solve this particular problem step by step, right? So over here, let me just quickly showcase you the steps which we will be going to use as part of this. So as we can see, basically, we have to calculate the sales or the amount which a particular merchant had earned on a specific day, right? So first of all, we have to basically calculate the daily earnings of each merchant, right? That will be our step number one, right? Now, after that, basically, we have to take or we have to calculate the sales of previous day as well for each merchant, right? So the data which we will be getting from step one, right? We will basically calculate the previous day's earnings, right? Now, what we have to do, we have to basically get the most money on the day before, right? So basically, we have to get those merchants who earn the most money, right? So basically, we have to get the maximum number of earnings of each day, right? Now, what we have to do, we have to basically find out all those merchants who earned maximum money on the previous day, right? Which means we have to join these two steps, right? And then we have to basically filter out only those merchants who earned most money on the previous day, right? I hope you guys have clear with this particular approach. Now let me just quickly show you how we will be able to solve this using SQL, right? So over here, first of all, what we have to do, we have to basically take the calculate the daily earnings, right? So for that, I will just use order details, right? And from this, what I will do, since over here we are having a order timestamp column, right? So in order to convert this order timestamp column into date, we have to basically use a convert function, right? Which is available in SQL, right? So for that, what I will do, I will basically take convert, right? Convert of what? Convert date, right? like basically we have to convert this in the form of date, right? And order timestamp, right? And I will give this as alias as order date, right? So this will become my order date, right? We have to basically fetch this for every merchant. So I will basically take merchant ID as well, right? And we have to basically calculate the like amount which that particular merchant earned, right? So what I will do, basically I will take a sum of total amount earned, right? So I will take sum of total amount earned, right? Since we have to basically round it up to two decimal places, so let me just quickly use round function, right? So we have to basically round it up to two decimal places, right? So I'm giving this as alias as let's say total earned, right? Now, since we are doing aggregation over here, so I will use group by. So I will use group by on what? Group by on these two columns, right? So group by on, let me just remove this alias. So group by on merchant ID and this date, right? So now let me just quickly run this and we'll show you what will be our output. So as we can see for each date, for each merchant ID, we got like the total amount of earnings that particular merchant did, right? With this, we are basically completing the very first step, right? Now, what we have to do, we have to basically calculate the previous day's earnings, right? So over here, our data set had been structured at a day level, right? So can I say this thing? I can use this particular table, right, which I've created just now, and I can basically fetch like previous days earnings as well from this table, right? So for that, what I will give, I will basically give this as a CTE. So I will basically take, let me just give this as daily earnings, right? So this will become my first CTE, right? And I will basically use this CTE to calculate the previous days, right? So for that, I will use select star from daily earnings, right? Now, what we have to do, we have to basically take order date, right? And like merchant ID and total earned, all the three columns, right? So for that, what I will do, I will, and for sure, what we have to do over here, we have to basically calculate previous days, amount which that particular merchant earned, right? So can I say this thing? I have to basically join this table with itself in order to calculate the previous day's earning, right? Let me just quickly tell you how we will be able to do that. So probably let me just give this as DE1 as a alias, right? I'm joining this on the same table itself. So I will join this on daily earnings. Let me just give this as DE2, right? On DE1 dot. So basically on what date, basically on what column we have to join this, right? For sure, we have to join this on order date only, right? But it will be a trickiest thing because we have to basically take the or join this on the previous days, right? Because we have to calculate the previous day's earnings, right? So for sure, we have to basically like take order date, right? And on top of this, what I will do, I will basically take the previous day's earning, right? So how to calculate or how to get previous day's earning in SQL Server, right? Can I say this thing? I can use date add function, right? So for that, I will use date add function. And what I will do, I will add one day into my order date, right? So basically, the order date which we are getting from here, I will add one day into that, and that will become my previous day, right? So let me just give this as a alias, right? So over here, this had became my previous day, and I am comparing that with the current day, right? Now, apart from this, what we have to do, we have to get the merchant details as well, right? Which is available in this particular table, right? So basically we need like merchant name and all those details as well. So for sure, we have to basically join this on merchant ID as well, or like a merchant level table as well, right? For that, what I will do, I will take merchant details, right? Let me just give this as alias as MD, and I will basically join, like perform this join on, let's say D2 dot merchant ID, right, is equal to md dot id, right? Now, what all columns we have to select? We need like order date, right? We need merchant ID as well, right? So let me just quickly fetch that order date and merchant ID, right? What else we have? We need total earned as well. So we need total earned, right? And apart from that, we need like name of the merchant, right? So for sure, we need md dot name, right? And this I'm giving this as merchant name. Okay. So order date we need from DE1. So this will come from DE1 dot order date. Merchant ID again is coming from DE2 because it's available in DE2. So it should be DE2, right? And basically, why we are taking this from DE2, because we need merchant ID of the previous day, right? So that's why I'm taking this from DE2 table. Like basically, that is my previous day's table, and total earned is coming will also come from DE2 table, right? So DE2 dot total earned, right? Now let me just run this once again to showcase you like how our output will look like. So as you can see, we are getting order date, we are having merchant ID, total earned, and we got merchant name as well, right? And all these merchants are basically available as part of the previous day as well, right? So let me just give this as another CTE, right? So it will be previous day, let's say earnings, right? As, and this will become my second CTE, right? With respect to this, I am completing the second step, right? Now, what we have to do, we have to calculate the maximum earnings for each day, right? So for that, what I will do, I will take the previous day earning table, right? Because in this, we are having like all the values at a order date level for all merchants, right? So I will take select star from previous day earnings, right? This will become my like third CTE, right? And from this, what I'm doing over here is I will take order date, right? And apart from this, like we have to take the maximum total earning for each day, right? So over here, as we can see in the third step, what we have to do, we have to calculate the maximum earnings for each day, right? So for that, I am taking order date, and on order date level, we have to take maximum total on, right? So this became my next CTE, and since we are doing aggregation, so I will take do group by as well. So group by of what? Group by of order date, right? Let me just remove this. Yeah. So over here, and this we are taking from previous days, right? Let me just give this as Elias as max earned. Yeah, max earned, right? Now let me just run this once again, and we'll show you what will be our output. So as you can see, we got like two order dates over here as part of the data set availability, and we are having like this is the maximum like earnings for that particular day, right? So with this, we are basically completing our third step, in which like we have to take to calculate the maximum earn, right? Now what we have to do, we have to basically join these two steps, right? And then we have to basically filter out those merchants whose like earnings are like is equal to maximum earnings, right? So for that, what I will do, uh, so this is my second CTE. Now over here, let me just give my third CTE, which could be max earnings, right? And this became my third CTE, right? Now what we have to do, we have to basically join these two tables, which is like max earnings and previous day's earnings, right? So for that, what I will do, I will take select star from, right? We have to take this from previous day's earnings, right? So that will become my base table, because we have to take fetch all the merchants and everything from the previous day's earnings table only, right? So for that, I will take previous day's earnings, right? And I have to join this. So I'm joining it on max earnings table, right? And basically we have, let me just give this as alias, right? So let's say we can be give it as PDE, and max earnings, I'm giving it as ME, right? On Now, on what level basically we have to join these two tables? That will be the important part, right? So, first of all, we have to take a look at the daily level earnings of each merchant, right? So, for sure, we have to basically merge it on or join it on order date, right? So, for that, I am using PDE dot order date, right, is equal to ME dot order date, right? So basically for each day, we have to calculate the maximum earnings of that particular merchant, right? So the very first join I am implementing on the order date, right? And apart from that, like we have to basically check only, or like we have to find only those merchants who earned the maximum money or most money, right? So for sure, we have to basically implement the second join on the maximum amount which that merchant earned, right? So for sure, the second join we have to basically implement will be on from this PDE table. So I am taking from PDE table like the total earned column, right? And basically this total earned should be equal to maximum earned, right? So for that, I'm using ME dot max earned, right? Now, what all columns we have to fetch? So as part of the output over here, it's mentioned we need date column and we need merchant name column, right? So for that, let me just quickly take order date, and we need merchant name as well. So I'm taking merchant name, right? And this we need to take it from like this previous day's earning table. So let me just take previous date PDE dot order date, and similarly PDE dot merchant name, right? So this became my output. Now let's order it up as well to make it look better. So let's do it order by of what? Order by of these two columns, right? Now, let me just quickly run the entire query, and let me just show you what will be the output, right? So as we can see, we are having like order date, we are having a merchant name as well, right? And these are all these merchants are those merchants whose uh, total earnings were maximum on the previous days, right? Now, since we are getting a duplication over here, so let me just quickly take distinct of this, so that like we will be able to get the single merchant, right, for each day. So yeah, now as you can see, now let me just run all of these so that like you will be able to compare the output as well. So now as you can see over here, this is my merchant level table, this is my orders table, and this is the basically output table, right? So over here, we are having all these merchants, right? But in the output, we are having only these selected merchants. The reason why, because all these merchants earnings on the previous day were the maximum earnings on the current day, right? So for each day, we are basically like looking back to the previous day, and then we are comparing like what was the earnings of that particular merchant, and if that earning was the maximum earning of that particular day, then we are basically providing that as a part of output, right? So yeah guys, that's what basically it was asked as part of this particular problem. I hope you got to learn something new from the solution of this particular problem. Let me know in the comment section like what will be your approach to solve this particular problem. Thank you one and all, have a great day ahead. Bye bye.